Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thank you very much for watching our earwax removal video today. We've got one patient in this video, both ears being done. So what you can see, this patient's got a very narrow entrance to the ear canal. Basically, as the cartilage starts to loosen on the outer part of the ear canal and carries on growing, sometimes the outer portion of the ear canal can actually fold over the entrance there, and it causes this very narrow entrance. So patient feeling really blocked up in both sides. You can see we've got the standard size ulnar tube in here. To hold this canal open, what we use is the side of this ulnar tube to just kind of prop the canal open slightly, which allows us to get the endoscope in there as well. So you can see we've got a good grip on some very dry portions of skin and wax there. Just teasing those out of the ear canal with the suction tube. There we are. And as we go back in, you'll see that we can just see the flaps of dry skin there just at the entrance, so at the base of the canal and from the right hand side as well. So we're just going to tidy those up just a second. Thanks to everyone who joined us for the live on Friday. It's always a bit of organised chaos, the live. We did get through quite a few questions coming through, and we are going to try and do a Christmas live, just basically almost like a little sort of Christmas get together for all the waxaholics at the end of this year as well. We're going to try and do the lives a little bit more regularly, just because you guys have a lot of questions. I don't get to answer a lot of them in the comment section, just through time really. So it'll be a good opportunity to catch up with all your questions as well. So don't forget to join us for those as well. You can see now we've got rid of all the drier bits of skin at the entrance to this canal. We've got this more solid piece of dark wax much further in. It's really kind of holding together quite nicely. And where we took that dry skin away from the edges of the canal wall there, this thinner strip of wax has been resting on top of that, so it means that that's really dried out. So we've got this thin flap of very dry skin, dry wax, I'm sorry, connected to a much larger chunk further in. So we've got the crocodile forceps in here now, using the bottom jaw of the forceps to lift from the canal wall and using the top jaw then to clamp down on top of that. And as we pull, we're just going to wiggle this back and forth, trying to maintain the grip there. Unfortunately, sometimes as you wiggle, you will lose your grip a little bit, or a piece will shear off as it did there, but it's drawn that wax much further down the canal, so we can get a much better grip on this now. Really tightly hold on to it, wiggling up and down, and it's just coming to the outer part of the ear canal. It got wedged in the outer section of canal there, so we're going to pinch the forceps from the side this time to hold on to it, and just draw this out. There we go, just clamp on again and draw the whole block of wax away there as this comes out. There we go, it's just coming away. There we are, you can see a little bit of dry skin, almost like a tail at the back end of this wax. All that white material underneath there is that sort of really dry skin material as well. Just clearing up around the entrance here before we just have a quick check further in. Now what you'll see further in is you have almost this sort of wet skin much further down. The front entrance there, the skin had dried up, but the wax further back, the skin, sorry, further back had become quite almost like wet and soft and soggy. So as we try and tidy this up, what you'll see, we'll just tidy up the front end here, and you'll see the difference between these two bits of skin. The front section, there is this very thin, dry layers of skin coming away there really easily. So we'll just tidy those up there before we work on the back. And as we get a grip on this back section of skin, what you'll see is the front end of it lifts really easily. But as we look a bit further in then and lift that skin a little bit further, we'll notice that the skin behind it is still really firmly attached to the canal wall. Now, if you remember from previous videos, we've talked about how thin this skin layer is in the ear canal. So if we just keep lifting this and moving it all the way down, what's going to happen is it's going to tear the skin. And the blood vessels are just below the surface, so it will cause some bleeding. So what we'll do is lift as much as we can the looser skin, get rid of that, but the skin that's still attached, we'll leave that there because we don't want to pull it and cause any bleeding in the canal. So there's the eardrum there. Looking a little bit dull on that side in fairness, but you know, there's been a lot of wax in there, a lot of dead skin on the eardrum as well. Now what you can see here with the patient's other ear canal is that we've got this really kind of solid piece of wax. So as before we had this sort of much softer skin and wax debris at the entrance, this is just a solid plug in here. So we did in the live have somebody ask us, are we going to use the St. Bart's hook again? St. Bart's hook is on its way, guys. It won't be long now, it'll be coming through. But what you can see is we've managed to lift this whole piece of wax, and it's got this very angular sloped front to it. So as we've got the suction tube on and lifted it, we've kind of lifted the end. We've had some success with the crocodile forceps in the last year, so we're going to do the same. But what you'll find with the jaws is it can't quite get the angle it needs to get underneath. And as you kind of go in, you're pushing it back flat again, which means it's really difficult to get under that section to put it away effectively. So we're going to use the suction tube again just to reposition this wax. You'll just see that gap down the right-hand side there as well. And it's kind of got this sort of Goldilocks element to it, is what we like to call it. So basically, to use the St. Bart's hook, you have to have a really good set of circumstances. Enough of a gap to the right side so we can get the hook in, as you see there, and allow us enough room to twist to get behind the wax and then be able to pull it down. And the wax also needs to be quite hard so that when we do pull it down, it's a very thin end to that St. Bart's. So it'll pull straight through soft wax, so it has to be quite hard. So they're a very specific set of circumstances. Now, as you can see, we've rolled the wax over now, and you've got this really wet, we talked about that wet sort of floppy, mushy skin in the last ear canal. Look at it here. It's all still attached to the back of that block of wax. You can see how floppy, how really wet and sort of overlapped that skin is there as well. We managed to get the St. Bart's hook behind this now. We've got it out of the canal, so we just need to draw the rest of it out, getting a good grip behind that hard section. There it comes. Just coming down onto the into the bowl of the ear now. Now that hard section there is too hard for us to get the St. Bart's hook in to lift this up. So we're going to have to lift this up with a standard size ulnar tube here. There we are, getting a good grip on it just so you can take a look at it. The whiter, lighter material you'll see now as we lift this up. Look at that. That's that mushy, wet skin we were talking about. There we go. If we take a look behind that, you can see the remnants of that skin around the outside edge. To the right canal wall here, across the base of the ear canal as well. So yeah, coming away quite nicely. When we talked about that bleeding, when you're lifting skin like this from the canal wall, if you're looking at it this way, if you lift this way, then it can peel all the way down. Like if you get a pull on the side of your nail and you pull it and it sort of goes a long way, that's what can happen in here. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll kind of make a circular motion. So if you've got the flap there, we'll kind of go around the back of it and try and shear it at source here so it doesn't cause too much of an issue. But look as we lift this section here, look at the canal wall just peeling away there. All that dry skin there on the top, sorry, to the left-hand side here, connecting down into that wetter material further down. Look as this peels away. Big chunk of dry skin peeled all the way across the back end of that little flap of skin we were trying to lift as well earlier. You can see it's just this little lift here on the right side, and as you lift this up, you'll start to see that's connected to a much bigger flap of skin here at the base. You can tell by the slight color difference as well, and the slight lift you get there. There we are, it's coming away really nicely. Now this is a perfect example where we talk about going around the back of the skin to bring this forwards. See what we did there? We went around the back and tore it, sort of lifted it and tore it away at source here and then brought it back down the canal. There we are. Eardrum itself is looking good there. Just got this last little flap which we'll get rid of now. Guys, if you've never come across our, I forgot to say this, if you've never come across our channel before, we post new earwax removal videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 PM UK time on Instagram, Facebook and on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed already and you do enjoy the video, then please consider subscribing and following us there. And you can see a lovely shiny eardrum there as well. So this is what we removed, quite big chunks there, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, guys, then please like, share and subscribe. As always, guys, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I shall see you again real soon.